Real talk. It's like 10 o'clock at night, and I just put my baby down to sleep. So this is like the only amount of time that I have to record this video. Hi, my name is Jay. I know it's been a minute since I recorded my last video, so if you have seen my last videos, welcome back. And if you are new, hello. This may be a slightly long video, but I need to tell y'all what happened in my labor and delivery before I forget it, because I'm starting to forget pieces already. My husband came down because I live in Georgia and he lives in Kentucky, and I moved down to Georgia because I felt like it would be easier to have the baby here because his company was scheduled for a deployment. So I felt like it would be easier for me to have the baby here and move all my things here before I give birth rather than after, because I felt like it'd be a bit much with the whole newborn thing. So my husband came down to be there for the delivery because, you know, she was supposed to come February 2nd, and I felt like she was gonna come early. I felt like she was gonna come January 28th, and I told everyone she was gonna come January 28th. I was speaking it into existence. It didn't matter what the doctors say, talking about most first-time moms have their baby late. It didn't matter, okay? Because I was speaking it into existence. It was gonna happen on January 28th. So my husband decided to come down on January 28th, listening to me. And when he came down, I was all excited. Like, I'm telling you, all the days before January 28th, I was feeling contractions. I was like getting them pretty regularly. They were a little bit more than Braxton Hicks. I was like, yeah, she's definitely coming. As soon as my husband came down and was in my house, they just stopped. I just stopped having contractions altogether. And then so like, you know, about a week passed, and I was like, you know, my husband has to eventually go back the following week. So I'm like a little stressed at this point. I'm like, I'm on the birthing ball. I'm taking walks in the park. Like, I mean, I'm walking around my whole neighborhood twice, taking walks at the mall. I'm having sex. I'm doing all these things to try and get this baby out my belly so that he could be here for the birth of the baby as well, and still have time to like bond with the baby. And then we go past the due date. I go into my next appointment. And, you know, they're doing the ultrasound screening to make sure the baby's okay and stuff like that, since she is overdue. And I finally get to talk to the doctor who's going to deliver my baby. And I was honest with him. I was like, so when can I get induced? And he was like, I mean, you can get induced today. And I was like, let's make this happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do I need to do to make this happen? Like, my doctors are some hippies. They love natural birth. They always want to deliver vaginally. They do their best to do that. I personally didn't pick them because of that. It was just the only doctor that would see me so late in my pregnancy, since I did move to Georgia late. But I just happened to find out that they specialize in vaginal and natural births. Didn't know that. So he was like, you know, getting induced, you have to surrender to a different type of pain. And he was like explaining it, and I was just like, I hear you, but like this man over here won't be here when baby decides to come. So like I kind of need to surrender to this pain today, okay? And so I was like, come on, let's do this stuff today. And then he was like, I think y'all need to go home and think about it. I'm gonna tell you this. I got in the car. Me and Gary walked to the car, and as soon as we got in the car, we called that man up and was like, we want to be induced. We thought about it. We want to be induced. And so he was like, I'll see if the hospital has room. And I was like, okay, cool. And he was like, but your next appointment will be scheduled for Friday if anything does happen. So then he calls me back, and he's like, yeah, I can't get you scheduled in. And I was like, okay. He's like, I feel like it's going to end up being Friday. And my doctor's appointment was on Monday. So I waited a whole week, and my husband basically has to leave on Saturday. So like, I can't do Friday. Okay, you told me that it's easier for them to induce me when I get to, like, if I were to have an appointment and I said I wanted to be induced, and he would take, like, I could go directly to the hospital from there versus like coming home and going to the hospital. I don't know why it's like that, but that's what he said. So I was like, okay. So I set up an appointment for Thursday, and when I got, like, since I set up the appointment, it was like I immediately stopped freaking out about the time. I immediately stopped stressing about whatever, because I knew I was going to have the baby regardless. Early Thursday morning, around 3 in the morning, I started getting contractions, like regular contractions, like every 8 minutes I was getting hit by a contraction. And I was like, all right, whoa, whew, girl. Uh-oh. But like my water didn't break, nothing like that. And so I was like, I'm not gonna really wake Gary up because you know, they're 8 minutes apart. You know, they told me to come in when they were like 4 minutes apart, lasting an hour. So I was like, I got time. So then it got down to like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, it was coming at 6 minutes apart. So I was like, okay, you know, I think I can make it to my doctor's appointment. The way that the contractions were going, I was like, I can make it to my doctor's appointment. I'm already I'm already having contractions, so being induced or doing any type of procedure that they need to do would go a little bit smoother because I am at least somewhat dilated. I know that. So, and my doctors, I live in Gwinnett County. Okay, my doctor's is in Atlanta, so it's an hour drive with all that traffic. So we decided to leave to go to our doctor's office. My mom is trying to go too, or whatever, with my family, and I'm like, you know, like I'm not being induced yet, so y'all don't have to come, you know, wait till after my doctor's appointment so I can tell you what it is that's gonna happen and what's going on. And then we head down there and come to find out that there's this huge accident on a major highway in Georgia, and it slows us down. It takes us almost an hour and a half to get to my doctor's. So, and I'm having contractions the whole while. Like it's at 5 minutes apart, and they're getting stronger. You know, like, and people always described contractions as like a big cramp or something. It's not like that at all. I don't know who lied, but it is not like that. It feels like your abdomen is just squeezing you and releasing and then squeezing again. It doesn't feel like a cramp to me. It was a new different type of feeling, and it was painful. So then when we get to the doctors, you know, it's easy for me to get into the doctors. Like the contractions aren't stopping me in my place or anything like that. Like I can get through them. And the wait was forever. It took us forever to be seen for some reason. And then when we got there, they did a ultrasound. And they didn't tell me anything after the ultrasound. So then they plugged me up to like the EKG machine to monitor my contractions and to monitor the baby while I'm having contractions. And they didn't tell me anything. And we're just waiting and waiting and waiting. And so then we go into my actual doctor's office. And he is like, yeah, your baby is not breathing when you have contractions. And you're leaking fluid. There's literally no fluid in your body, in your womb for your baby. So we're gonna have to deliver this baby today. And I'm like, well, we were going to anyway. I'm scared though, because I'm like, dang, my baby's not breathing and there's no water in there. And like, I wasn't planning on having a C-section. Like, let's talk about my birth plan real quick. I was planning on having a water birth, a straight water birth, okay? I was planning on like doing the whole natural thing, not getting an epidural. Oh man, I was here for it. And then this happened. So he was like, we're gonna have to do we probably might have to do an emergency C-section depending on how dilated you are. If you're far enough dilated, we could probably deliver the baby. But if you're not, then and I'm over here like, okay, the way my contractions are feeling, I'm feeling 4 centimeters. I'm feeling 4 centimeters dilated, even though I've never had a baby. I'm feeling 4 centimeters. So he was like, I'm gonna have to check. Oh my God, I hate that check. I hate when they check to see how far dilated you are. That is the worst part about having a baby, being pregnant, is someone checking to see how far dilated you are. That is awful. He checks and he's like, yeah, you're about 2 centimeters. I was like, what? My contractions are starting to hurt now. Like, I'm starting to like stop in my place type hurt. And like, I feel like I have to poo and pee all the time. I don't, but like your body naturally just assumes to push everything out, because like that's how your body pushes, is like down there. So like you will feel like you have to poo on yourself, and you will feel like you have to pee. So, I'm just like, okay. So now that I know that I'm 2 centimeters dilated, I know I'm gonna have a C-section. So he was like, you need to head on over to the hospital and we'll get you ready to go. And like I'm scared because I'm like, he isn't breathing when I'm having contractions. So every time a contraction came, I was really scared because I was like, dang, basically my 2 minutes. He said my baby wasn't breathing for 2 full minutes, which is awful because a normal human being can last like 60 minutes by holding their breath, and my baby's holding her breath for 2 minutes. So I'm really scared. And then to top it all off, my husband has the worst memory with remembering where we park. He always does. I don't care if we're just running in some dry cleaners. My husband will forget every time where we park. Every time, without doubt. So I didn't remember this time because I was focused on delivering this baby and I was having contractions. So I did not really remember exactly where we parked like I usually do. And so we get to what I think is the level that that we parked on. And of course he doesn't remember. So now I'm like, dang, bro, I'm having contractions. I'm trying to hurry up and get to this hospital. I have no idea where we parked. My phone is dead, and then he leaves his phone with me, and he goes looking for a car. I mean, he goes up and down the floors to try and find the car. He can't find it. We're clicking the panic button, nothing. And then finally, I realize that the floor that I'm on is the floor that the car is on. I start to remember where we parked. But, like, once again, my phone is dead, and I have his phone. So there's no way that I could tell him, hey, buddy, like, I know where the car is. So then I'm like, okay, should I walk towards the car? Should I stay where I am? Because if I move towards the car, then he can't find me. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, I'm just going to stay where I was. So then he's clicking the panic button, and he comes from the top floor of the garage. And, like, I hear the car go off. And so I see, like, all while I'm having a contraction, I was like, yeah, I meant to tell you that the car is on this floor. And he's like, just get the car, bro. Let's go. So then we get in the car. And then we're speeding. I mean, like, we're really not speeding because, like, the hospital is not far from actually Emory, my doctor's office. So it wasn't far. It was just my husband was flustered. I'm flustered, trying to get this baby out, scared. First time parents. We park and everything, and he's like, why the frick do you have to pay for parking if you're delivering? And and so we get there, and like, this hospital, it's Atlanta Medical, right? This hospital, I mean, it's really outdated, really old. And the only reason why I really stuck with this hospital instead of picking something closer to me, like Gwinnett Medical and stuff like that, is because this hospital, they were okay with water birth in the way that I wanted it. So that's why I stuck with it. And anyways, but I didn't have water birth now, so it didn't really matter. But the staff there was amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing staff. I've never seen hospital staff treat their patients the way that this hospital treated me and my husband and my baby. It was a phenomenal experience. It made me want to actually go to the hospital for any type of thing. But no, their equipment was really outdated and their building was outdated. Anyways, so when we get there, there's a staff member, hanging out, talking, and she obviously, clearly, they noticed that, like, she's talking to a patient who's in a wheelchair. And, like, I stop by this pole because I'm having a contraction. And at this point, my contractions are stopping me in my tracks. Like, I have to stand still for 1 full minute to get through the contraction. And I have to count from, like, 1 to, like, 20 to get through my contraction. So, which was really helpful. I did count, counting down while you're having a contraction is nice. And keeping up with your contractions are really nice too. If you know that they're 4 minutes apart, stay ahead of your contraction so that you know when it comes. Anyways, so they see me stopping, and so, like, the lady gets out of the chair, even though she's a patient, and is like, here, help her. And, like, they're just so sweet. Like, it was just really thoughtful. And the staff member, she wheels me all the way through, all the way up until labor and delivery. Like, she takes me all the way there. She doesn't just give the wheelchair to Gary and we figure it out. She takes both of us there, so we don't have to worry about nothing. And then she helps signs us in and everything. And then someone else takes us into a room, and they're like, okay, we're going to get you prepped for a C-section. And they're trying to monitor the baby, and, like, they couldn't get the baby to breathe or hear the baby's heartbeat in any position. It was honestly one of the most scariest things of my life, because I've heard my baby's heartbeat almost, like, every single time they've ever put a monitor on her, and for me not to hear it this time, it really scared me. So finally, like, I end up because the most comfortable position for me when I'm cramping or when I'm feeling pain is like to be in doggy style, so on my hands and knees. And finally they could hear the heartbeat, and they were like, okay, so let's just like stay like this, let's just stay like this. And like my mom finally comes, Gary mom come, and Gary. So those are the three people who are in the room with me, and those are the three people that I wanted in the room with me anyway. So Gary's mom is trying to put a cold rag over my head. Gary's trying to understand what the doctor is about to do and trying to be there for me. And then my mom is being like my main support. She's holding my hand, rubbing my back, and then like they put a little robe on you, obviously, because you're in the hospital. But like, if anybody knows me, I really don't care for clothes, okay? Especially when I'm in pain, I don't care. My mom was over here trying to lift the shirts up so that like my boobs aren't all out and like I'm not all exposed. But I'm like, Mom, bro, I don't care. I'm hot. I'm in pain. Let me be all exposed. Everybody in this room has seen me naked and is a healthcare professional, so they've seen a naked body. Let me be. But she was just being my mom and trying to love me, so whatever. They're waiting for my doctor. My doctor is taking effing forever to come to the hospital, even though his office is down the street. And he didn't lose his car, and he didn't have to pay for parking. So I don't know why it took him so long to get there. Anyways, so the doctor on call in that actual room was like, if he doesn't come within this specific amount of time, I'll be doing the surgery. And I was like, bro, I don't care. Honestly, just get the baby out. And at this point with these contractions, like they're debating on whether they should do epidural anesthesia or an actual general anesthesia. So like epidural would be from the waist down. Like I'd be paralyzed from the waist down. They would be able to do the incision and take the baby out. But my upper body would be awake and I could be able to hear and, experience what was going on. General anesthesia would knock me completely out. So this whole time I'm like, do general anesthesia. I really don't care. Just get the baby out. Like I'm in a lot of pain. I don't have time to wait for the epidural to hit me. Like I just want you to get my baby out. They're like kind of like nodding me off because like obviously I'm saying this out of pain. And then so like I asked them, I was like, okay, so if I did general anesthesia, would my husband still be able to cut the cord? And they were like, no, he won't be allowed in the room if we do general anesthesia. And so I was like, it sucks. So my doctor finally comes in and he's like, yeah, we're gonna try and do an epidural. And I'm just like, now I have to deal with this pain just a little bit longer to get my baby out. So I'm not a fan. And then the doctor on call kind of argues with my doctor and is like, dude, no, we can't do no epidural because the only time we hear the baby's heartbeat is when she's in doggy style, and I cannot put an epidural needle into her back in that position. So we need to do general anesthesia. So they all decide on general anesthesia, and that was this part right here was the scariest moment of my entire life, honestly. First off, I'm a new mom. I've never experienced the pain that I am experiencing right now. And secondly, this whole thing is really scary because clearly my baby isn't breathing and I'm stressed. And like everybody around me is trying to hurry and rush me. But like it was just too much. And so they're rushing me to get on the table and I'm like, okay, wait, I'm having a contraction. This whole time while I've been having a contraction, they let me get through the contraction and then they move me. So, but this time they were like, no, you need to move. And I'm like, dude, like, I've never felt this pain before. Can you be a little patient with me, buddy? Like, and they're just like, no, you have got to get on this table, lay down. And I'm like, okay. And they're pulling me and they're putting wires on me. And like, I'm freaking out because now I'm having a contraction and I'm in an uncomfortable position and a lot is going on and I don't know what's going on. It's too much. And then they put like this thing on my stomach and like it was the worst pain I ever felt in my life because like it felt like saran wrap and they just stuck it like onto my stomach really hard. And like I was in the middle of a contraction and like I genuinely screamed out in pain. Like that was really scary for me. And like I'm pinned down, so like I can't really do anything. And then finally they put the mask over my head and like the person who's doing it, like I'm looking in her eyes and I'm like legit terrified. And I feel so bad that I'm looking at her that way because like I know that she felt really bad for me because like I was so scared. But she's like, just breathe in and you'll be out soon. And so like, bruh, I was legit out. Like, it's not like what people make it seem like in the movies where you blink and you're just like, oh, no. No, it feels like you close your eyes and you woke back up. There is no rest. I didn't feel any type of resting. No, you just wake up. And I immediately woke up and I saw Gary right there. And he was like, you're awake, and I was just like, hey. And then my dad came in with my mom, and he was like, picture time. And I'm like still high, so I'm just like I'll probably insert some pictures because I look rough. But I was like, and then I was like, where's the baby? And Gary was like, I saw the baby. And he's really excited about the baby. And he was like, she's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And like, he's just talking about how much he loves her and stuff like that. And I was like, so when can I see the baby? And my nurse is just like, yeah, you can see the baby around 4 o'clock, bro. I delivered this baby at 2:44. So I'm just like, bro, okay, fine, whatever. You know, like I can't rush it. It is what it is. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I ain't seen my baby until 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock that night was when I saw my baby. It took them that long to bring me my child. And so I finally see my child, and as soon as I look at my baby, all I can think of is, dang, you look like me. And not like me like right now, but like me as a baby. Like all the baby pictures that I've ever seen of myself, she looks exactly like. And like, I'm gonna insert some. So yeah, like I was just like blown away by how beautiful my baby was. And to be honest, so was my husband. We were just blown away that we created this beautiful, beautiful baby with all this hair. After going through all of that and looking at my baby every day, it really was worth it. My mom always said that I would feel that way. And I was like, no, I just never want to be pregnant again. I never want a kid again. And my mom, she was like, you'll think differently when you have the baby. And to be honest, she's right. I look at my baby and I think about all the pain that I went through, and it's worth it. I do it all over again 3 times if it means, you know, being able to have my baby. And I do look at my baby and I'm just like, dang, I want another baby. I mean, not now, but in due time, because I just enjoy being a mom of a baby. If my baby could stay a baby forever, that'd be great, you know. But it's a different type of love. And I finally understand why people are always hounding people about having kids. It's because when you look at your kid, you want everyone to experience that type of feeling and that type of love. I want everyone to experience the type of love that I feel when I look at my baby. And I think that's why people say it, you know. I don't think it's because they just want you to have a freaking baby. I think it's just because it's the love that's unmatched. It's unlike any other. And I love my kid. I love everything about her. And, you know, being a mom, like, people are like, you know, you have to make a lot of sacrifices, and you have to go through a lot, and sleepless nights, and you're tired all the time, and you can't always leave whenever you want to leave. And to be honest, it doesn't feel like a burden to me. It's just a sacrifice that I have to make that I don't mind making. You know, I was supposed to be doing schoolwork, and I was really trying to, and my sister-in-law, she was trying to calm the baby or whatever while I was doing the schoolwork, but Isla wasn't having it. And she was like, come on, your mom has to do work. And I was like, it's okay, you can give her to me. And like, I start patting her, and she's still fussy, but then she calms down. And I was like, you know, I know I need to get work done, but like, I'd much rather be calming my baby down than doing work. So it's not a burden, it's just a sacrifice. The fact that I wasn't able to do my schoolwork at that moment, it's a sacrifice, but it's worth making. I eventually did get it done, but at the moment it was just worth making. And like, yeah, that's my labor and delivery story. It was a rocky road. I wish I could tell you more of what happened at the hospital, but this video is already pretty long. The view was beautiful. Every night you could see the skyline and all the skyscrapers and all the buildings with all the lights of Atlanta. It was absolutely beautiful. It was amazing, and it felt amazing being able to wake up to that every day and to go to bed to that. And you know, me and my husband, we shared the bed, and then baby was in her little, you know, the hospital bassinet thing that they roll around everywhere, and it was just a beautiful experience. I think I heard my child. I'm gonna go check on her. She's good, she's good, she's good, she's good. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Please, 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 please subscribe. please like this video. Please comment if you tell me about your experience. Tell me about something wacky that happened in your labor and delivery. I love hearing about other people's stories. Please let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to follow me on any of my social media, it's all going to be linked in the description box. I'm probably going to put it up in here too, because like I know when I watch YouTube videos, I like to just see it instead of having to click the link. Yeah, just please comment, like, subscribe, do it all. Y'all know what to do. Y'all watch YouTube every day. Y'all probably watch 6 videos before this. So I guess I'll see you guys on the next video.